إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستغفره ونستعينه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له نشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه من خلقه وخليله اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. عباد الله، أوصيكم ونفسي المقصرة أولا بتقوى الله، فاتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. ثم أما بعد. All praises are due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most gracious and the most merciful. The best of His peace and blessings shall be bestowed upon His beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam and upon those that follow his footsteps. My dear brothers and sisters, at the time of increasing challenges, it is our duty as Muslims to sit down and reflect, to learn and understand from our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, to learn from this great deen what is it that we need to do. We are continuously looking for guidance. Life will be much easier if we have someone right beside us to tell us every day what to do. In every situation, how to react, how to plan, how to do this, how to do that. And indeed we have it. Because Rasulullah ﷺ left us with the book of guidance that will never change, the Holy Quran. And it is our duty to always dig into it and look for the answers. Today, inshallah, I want to talk about an extremely important tool that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave each and every one of us to be able to run a dignified life. A life with dignity, karama. A life of protection, no fear. There will always be disturbance. There will always be people trying to turn our lives upside down. But how can we stay steadfast and strong? This tool, my dear brothers and sisters, is your tongue. Your words. How to use those words. How do we make use of such powerful tool that a lot of us maybe don't know that we own. We don't know that we're blessed with. Most of us came from a society where you're always ordered to stay silent. Hush. Stay silent. You're young. You're ignorant. You don't know. Everybody's pushing you to say nothing. Just deal with it. Live with it. No, my dear brothers and sisters. This is not Islam. If our ummah went through a time of turbulation and weakness that produced a generation of silent people, we need to change this. We can't stay silent anymore. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in a famous ayah, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا اتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَقُولُوا قَوْلًا سَدِيدًا. A straight order from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to establish taqwa and associate it with what? أن تقولوا قولا سديدا. القول السديد والقول الصائب. To say the right thing. A wise man once said, wisdom is to say the right thing at the right time to the right people. You want to establish taqwa, you need to say the right thing. You can't stay silent out of fear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also said in Surah Al-Isra, وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي يَقُولُ الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ وَقُلْ لِعِبَادِي يَقُولُ الَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ يَنْزَغُ بَيْنَهُمْ إِنَّ الشَّيْطَانَ كَانَ لِلْإِنسَانِ عَدُوًّا مُبِينًا. Another invitation or order, I should say. That you as a Muslim, you should say the right thing. We always heard about different kind of methods for people to defend ourselves, and they're legitimate ones and legitimate in certain places. But we always say we are blessed to be in a society of dialogue. Know this. Society of human rights. We have to admit, it's true, it exists. We live in it. And the tools to be used in such society are your words. These are the tools. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is ordering you to تقول قولا سديدا and تقول التي هي أحسن, to say the right thing. What is the right thing? Let me ask you, brothers, please to get up and make some room. MashaAllah, the place is full. Tabarakallah. If you can get up and make some room. Barakallah. What is the right thing? To make things simple and make this khutbah, inshaAllah, straight instructions for us to use and implement. The right thing is always to ask for your rights. Now there are different interpretations. When you read what's the right thing meant by this ayah, it starts with the tawheed. The right thing on earth is tawheed. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wahid. So we always say that, we support it. The right thing is to say al-khayr. The right thing is to help others. The right thing is tarfa' dhulm. Always alleviate and lift dhulm, oppression. Sum it all up together. Part of it, or I should say, is defending your rights. To stand up against oppression. Asking for your rights is the right thing. But I should stop here for a second and say, after fulfilling your duties. Because a Muslim is a person that's always concerned with giving before taking. Before you think of your duties, of your rights, you need to make sure that you've completed, you fulfilled your duties. We fulfill our duties, but we don't let our rights go away. We don't allow them to be stripped away from us. Because this is part of your being as a Muslim, is to do both, to give and protect. Because protecting your rights is protecting everybody's rights. Because when we live in a culture of protection of rights, there will not be dhulm anymore. Because the idea is to eliminate dhulm, to eliminate oppression, eliminate transgression. And it starts with the word. What kind of rights do you have? First thing is your right as a citizen. You are a citizen of this country. A great country that we all helped building, developing. MashaAllah, we have great examples in our society. Every one of you is a great example. Every active person that goes to work in the morning, seeking the halal income, doing a halal job, you're contributing and doing the right thing. You're an important part of this economy. Be proud of it. You pay taxes, you help build the country. So you have rights as a citizen. One of the most important ones is your right, your freedom of religion, your faith. And in the last 4 months or so, we've been hearing about a lot of problems. People have problems with faith. La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. If they have a problem, it's their problem. But don't take that right from me. I'm a strong citizen, and I'm a Muslim. And I demand my right to religious freedom. Your right as a student, and I speak to the students especially, what's happening in Peel. And if we don't take a strong stand on what's happening in Peel to protect our students' right to practice their religion freely, it's going to spread. We need to demand this. We need to say something. We need to talk about it. We need to talk to our children. We need to talk to the officials. Whatever we need to say, we'll say it. But don't stay quiet and think it's going to work itself out. It's not going to solve itself. We need to be active about it. You're right as a member of the Muslim community. The other day, I was reading, some sister made a comment on a brother's. He was involved in one of the problems with the Pulitzer School Board. And he's a figure in our community. And some people think that he did not do the right thing. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him for his niyyah. But we're all subjected to errors. Ijtihad, we might do the right thing or not. You have the right to hold everybody accountable. You have the right to talk to the community leaders, to the administration of the masjid. You have the right to talk to them and make sure they're doing the right job. A video, I just remembered it, went viral a couple of days ago about this British young girl. She was like 6 years old or something, commenting on the Prime Minister's performance in Britain. I advise all of you to watch it. Because kids are trained to express themselves and ask for their rights and the community's rights. Your rights as a parent, you need to talk to your children about it. You need to make sure they're doing the right thing. Your rights as sons and daughters amongst us here, we're all sons and daughters, but the young ones, you have a right to talk to your parents. Let me give an example on that one. Because everything I said is supported by a clear example in our deen. Ibrahim alayhi wa ala rasulina salatu wassalam, when he was given the revelation, he talked to his father, saying, Ya abati, قد جاءني من العلم ما لم يأتك فاتبعني أهدك صراطا سويا. Oh father. Now let's pay attention. Yes, we have the right to talk, but we have an obligation to be courteous. We have an obligation to be respectful. We have an obligation to have husn dhan. We have an obligation to leave some room. If we're talking to people, that doesn't mean that we always expect that they're wrong or they're deliberately want to hurt us. We should not operate in that mode. I caution you. Calmly, with courtesy, Ya abati, oh father. If a son, and I want to start with this, if a son or a daughter realize that your parents might be practicing something wrong, wrong understanding of a certain religious, which we see that a lot, a certain religious matter, wrong suluk, wrong behavior, it's okay for you to go talk to them. It's important for you to go talk to them. Ya abati, oh father, oh mother, why are we doing this way? I read something, I heard something from our alim. We need to start practicing this in our lives. We need to talk to our superiors, whether they are superiors or equals or subordinates. What does Rasulullah ﷺ teach us to do? Two famous stories, starting with one with a sahabiya called Barira. She was a slave, married to a slave. And then she got freed. She became a free woman. At that time, early time of Islam, there were a lot of slaves inherited from the period before Islam, and they were on their way to freedom. It happened throughout time in a process. Nevertheless, she was freed. And she had a problem with her husband. She didn't want him anymore. She had a right. She went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the head of the state. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the best man on earth, the one with the revelation. And she said, Ya Rasulullah, I don't want him anymore. They had their problems. The story is she didn't want her husband anymore. What did Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam do? He said, Ala turaji'i. Why don't you think about it? What does this woman do? How does Rasulullah ﷺ train his people to be? She asked him, أَتَأْمُرُنِي يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ? Are you ordering me not to leave him? With all courtesy and adab. Is that an order? Because if it's an order from Rasulullah, she will never say no. Look what Rasulullah said. He said, إِنَّمَا أَنَا شَفِيعٌ. He said, no, I'm not ordering you. I'm just suggesting. So there's a difference here. You have the right to express yourself, even to the head of the state. And the Mu'allim Rasulullah is teaching her a lesson. I'm not ordering you. I want you to ask for your rights. But I'm suggesting. She said, if you're suggesting, then I'm done with it. Another story, famous story. Habab ibn al-Jamuh, Sahabi, Ridwanullah alayh, in Ma'arak Badr al-Kubra. We all know this story. Rasulullah is planning for this big battle. It's a major battle in our history. And he's Rasulullah al-Mu'ayyad. He is supported by Wahi. He picks a place to camp. The Jamuh said to Rasulullah, is this place, this location, was revealed to you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? أم هو الرأي والحرب والمكيدة؟ أمنزلة أنزلكه الله؟ أم هو الحرب والرأي والمكيدة? Is this place was ordered by Allah, revealed to you by Allah? Or this is what you think is the right thing to do in strategies, in war strategies? Look at the respect, Ya Rasulullah. Who would be questioning Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? But again, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is teaching us a lesson. If you see something right, because it's your right, or because you have the knowledge to know that what's being done is wrong, you come to the masjid and you see that the administration is not doing something properly, you go out there and you know the government is not doing something properly, you approach them. You talk to them. If you have the knowledge, if you have the ilm, or if it's your right, don't stay quiet. And the Rasulullah accepted his suggestion and said, no, it's not a wahi, it's not a revelation. And then he went with his suggestion. This is your deen, ya Muslim. This is your deen, not to stay quiet and silent and let things go. Your deen teaches you to speak. Use your words, exercise your knowledge, and protect your rights. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم فاستغفروه لا يغفر الذنوب. بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. This is our deen as we know it from Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is how he sallallahu alayhi trained his Sahabas. And this is how he wants to train us. And this is how he wants us to be. So what do we do? How do we develop this? We always say what he told us, it's something that we need to train ourselves on, starting with ourselves. If I came from a culture that promotes silence, that promotes passivity, that promotes letting things go because of fear, because of weakness, I can't forget this incident probably a year and a half ago. When a parent came up to me, his daughter in grade 8, he said, my teacher is continuously attacking our religion. In a classroom, you probably heard me saying this story before, of over 80% Muslims. She was the only student that said something. Everybody else stayed quiet. This is the Muslim generation in the schools, grade 8. They're probably grade 9 or 10 now, I don't know. They came up to me. They were new immigrants. They said, this is what's happening. What do I do? I said, perfect. 80% Muslims? Bingo. Majority. Let's exercise our majority rights. I asked the parents to sign an authorization letter, to authorize me to speak on their behalf. Because I know not everybody knows how to articulate. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, we have people that can do this. Let's work with each other as a team. I sent an authorization letter to be signed by all parents. How many parents signed? 0. Why? Because they were afraid that the teacher might harm their kids' grades. SubhanAllah. Fear. Fear. Fear prevented us from defending our rights and defending our religion and demanding our rights. You know what? That means we're bringing it upon ourselves. Everybody's going to step all over us. Because we can't even say qawlan sadida. We can't even say a word. We're afraid. SubhanAllah. SubhanAllah. This is how a Muslim acts. Well, listen to what Rasulullah says. He told us, alayhi salatu wasalam, لا يستقيم إيمان عبد حتى يستقيم قلبه. Your iman will never be straight, meaning will never be fulfilled, meaning will never be complete, till your heart is mustaqim, is strong, on the right path. ولا يستقيم قلبه حتى يستقيم لسانه. And your heart will never be strong on the path unless your tongue is straight on the path. What does that mean? What does that mean? If I don't demand my rights, if I don't say no to the wrongdoers and the wrongdoing, if I don't say stop, there's a problem in my heart. Eventually there's a problem in my iman. Moreover, Rasulullah said, إذا رأيت أمتي تهاب أن تقول للظالم يا ظالم فقد تودع منها. If you find my ummah, we're proud to be of Ummah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, all of us. If you find my ummah is fearful that they can't say to the zalim, to the oppressor, to the wrongdoer, this is wrong. Or ya zalim, oh you oppressor. If you can't even say this, فَقَدْ تُوَدِّعَ مِنْهَا. As we say it in our slang, kiss yourself goodbye. You're gone. You're worth nothing. Your rights are gone. Your safety might be gone. Indeed. Because you're not going to say anything. We know they're not going to say anything. Let's push. So anybody that has anything in their hearts against us, they will push. Because they know if we go to the district school board's meeting, Muslims are not going to show up. The room will be empty. Let's push. Let's stop them from praying Jum'ah. Tomorrow, let's stop them from wearing hijab. They're not going to say anything. They don't show up. They don't care. Well, Allah, if you don't care, we don't care. This is what Rasulullah is telling you. Use it. Qawlan sadida. You do the right thing. Say the right thing. Demand your rights. And I encourage you, all you parents, teach your kids to express themselves. If you go through any problem, sit down with them and ask them, tell me what you feel. What's wrong? What do you want to tell me? What's bothering you? This way they get used to expressing themselves. They get used to demanding their rights. Don't let them sleep on it. Don't let them sleep on it. Don't let them sleep with the feeling, the negative feeling that will shut their mouth and keep them silent. Encourage them to speak. Even tell them, if you see me doing anything wrong to you, please tell me. Be courteous. Be courteous. Adab, akhlaq. But speak. Don't practice what was practiced a long time ago. Don't speak. When there are elder people here, don't speak in front of the elders. No. Speak, but with adab. Because if you stop them from speaking, you are the one that's taking away their rights. You are the ones that's teaching them to be weak and inferior. Teach them to speak. Ask them to express themselves. People pay thousands for courses to help them express themselves. Because the more people express themselves, the higher they get in life, the further they get in life. Even knowledge, as the ulama said, knowledge is lost between arrogance and shyness. If you're shy, you don't speak, you're not going to learn. Everything is lost if you stay quiet. Speak. Train yourselves. Promise yourself walking out of this khutbah, inshallah, you go home, you start practicing expressing ourselves. With our children, with our wives, with our parents, everybody. What's bothering us? What do we want? What are we missing? When we start speaking, we become more relaxed and comfortable. We start working. We move from the speaking phase into the acting phase. Things will get better. And the last point in using your tongue, and I remind you like we did last year, voting. It's an early call. But voting, my dear brothers and sisters, is coming soon. Voting is another form of al-qawl al-sadid. Voting is another form of you using your words to protect your rights. You being on the table, not on the menu. You're saying what's right for you and the community and the country. Because we love a multicultural society, we want to protect it. Make sure you start preparing yourself from now. Get engaged in those activities to know who you're going to be voting for. Any activity that talks about your interest. We have the RCMP coming tomorrow, here, and it's not the first time. This same number has to be here tomorrow. Because they're here to listen to us, my dear brothers and sisters. When they come and they don't find us, they again say, well, they don't care. Why do we care? We all need to show up tomorrow at 7:30. 7:30? At 7. We need to be here because we need to voice ourselves. So this is what I leave you with, my dear brothers and sisters. For the love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the love of our brotherhood, and the love of our community, and the love of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, and the love of our children, and the love of our safety. Please, قولوا قولا سديدا. Please, قولوا التي هي أحسن. Please use the words to express yourself. Train your children to express themselves. Protect your rights. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect us and help us always say the right thing and help us always do the right thing. اللهم نسألك العفو والعافية في الدنيا والآخرة. اللهم عافنا في ديننا ودنيانا. اللهم استر عوراتنا وآمن روعاتنا واحفظنا من بين يدينا ومن خلفنا وعن يميننا وشمائلنا ومن فوقنا ونعوذ بعظمتك أن نغتال من تحتنا. اللهم احفظنا. Oh Allah, protect us. Protect this generation. Protect our deen. Help us be strong. Help us by putting your love in our hearts, and the love of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and the love of our deen, and the love of our community. Help us to grow and prosper. إنك على كل شيء قدير. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله ولكم. اللهم لك يصلون على النبي يا الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. وأنت يا أخي أقم الصلاة.